5 to 6 years in med school is quite a long time, and I've had my fair share of mistakes, or rather, like things that I could have done differently or done better. And these are the things we're going to be discussing in this video. Hey there, lovely person watching YouTube. If you're new here, hi, my name is Ajay. I'm an Indian doctor currently in the UK. If you're already subscribed, welcome back. I love you to the stars and back. So looking back at anything, we always have this feeling of, damn, I could have done that so better and so differently, and it would have been so better and different, right? And looking back at my med school days, there are many things that I would certainly do differently if I had to do it all over again. And I think it'll be fun to discuss the mistakes I made and therefore the lessons I learned. And yeah, that's what we'll be discussing now. I think if I start med school all over again, I would be much more grateful about it. Now, it's not like I took it for granted or anything like that, but now looking back at it, it was such a wonderful opportunity to learn, grow, and become a doctor, which not many people get to be. There are literally more than 1 million people trying to get into medical school every year in India, and I was one of the few thousands who got into a medical school. And even that, I got into one of the best medical schools in my state. And looking back, I think I was very privileged to be there. I mean, I did work my ass off to get in there, but not every hardworking person got in there, There were many of my friends who were much more talented than me, much more hardworking than me. But due to various factors, including probably bad luck, they didn't get into medicine, or some of them just got into one of the least preferred med schools. So in a sense, I was a bit lucky or blessed or whatever. And it's important to acknowledge that I was lucky. Now, when I look back at it, I get all of these thoughts. But when I was there, I was like, God, this course is so tough. Why did I get myself into this? I mean, I think it's natural to feel that way, but if I can give you a tip, if and when you feel that way, try to think of why you even got into medicine. All the things, all the ideas, ideals, passions that made you want to get into medicine. Sort of remember why you started and try to be a bit grateful for what you have. You're one of a few who got in, and you're actually getting a chance to pursue your dream of being a doctor. If you think of it that way, I think most people would start appreciating how blessed they are, how lucky they are, and they'll start taking the course more seriously and probably be a bit more grateful about it. And not just be grateful, you have to appreciate all the amazing opportunities med school gives you to learn. Trust me, once you're a doctor, no one is going to spoon feed you and make you learn. When you're being spoon fed in med school, eat as much as you can and make good use of it. Because once you're out, you will have to cook your own meals and eat them all by yourself. So everyone knows that medicine is kind of a long course. It needs more time and energy commitment than most other courses. And it's quite natural to think, let me focus all of my time and energy on just studying for now, and once I get done with med school, I can chill later. Well, that's a terrible strategy, because not only would that make you miserable and not enjoy med school, studying actually doesn't end with med school. So if you just study and don't do anything else in med school, you'll be very pissed to know that there's a lot to study and learn after med school. So finding a good balance is really, really important. Of course, compared to other courses, you'll have to dedicate more time and energy to studying when you're in med school. And that's totally cool. Study a lot, but don't make your life just about studying. Don't postpone fun just because you want to study. Don't postpone friends. Don't postpone dating. Don't postpone all the fun stuff and life just for studying. Studying will never end. So it's very important that you get a good balance from day one. You have to study and you have to have fun. If you're doing one of these too much and not doing the other at all, it's gonna come back and bite you in the ass later on. Also, it's very important to take breaks or holidays every once in a while where you don't do anything related to med school or studying. So go on a holiday, go to your granny's house, chill at home, do whatever you've always wanted to do, play games, or just chill at home and watch Netflix all day. One of the biggest mistakes I made in med school is not relaxing during semester breaks. We would get 15 days off after each semester, and instead of chilling and recovering and relaxing for the next semester, I would be studying during the holidays, thinking that I could be ahead of the class, ahead of my friends, I could have a head start. And that was a really foolish thing to do. Sometimes the most productive thing that you can do is take rest. And you definitely should take breaks and rest quite seriously, otherwise you're gonna end up burning out and just being miserable. So I was this guy who would just sit and read textbooks in a very passive manner. I just enjoyed some of the textbooks and I could just sit and read them like, reading a novel. And that is not a great study strategy, because the more passive your studying is, the less effective it becomes. I never took any notes, I never solved any questions, and I certainly didn't revise it enough. I was this kind of a guy who would study one chapter once and understand it, most of it, in just one go, and then not revise it at all till I start revising for the exams. And because I didn't care at all about the marks that I got, I was, okay with getting average marks. Although I knew that I could get really good marks if I just tried and put more effort into studying, but I just couldn't be bothered to do it. But looking back, now I realize how ineffective my study strategies were. There was no active recall, there was no spaced repetition. And I'm now a fan of all these things, and if I had to do med school all over again, I would inculcate active recall and spaced repetition into my studying, and these things would make studying so much more effective and in the long term, much more fun as well. So people are very divided about conferences. There are two kinds of people when it comes to conferences. There are people who go there for the presentations, research, and all the cool stuff happening. And then there are people who just go there for the food. And I was a bit of both. But the only mistake I did was that I didn't go to a lot of these conferences. And the reason I didn't attend many is because I didn't like them. And the reason I didn't like them is because I chose the wrong ones to attend. So the first few I went to were not even meant for med students. So if I go to a cardiology conference meant for cardiologists, I'm not gonna enjoy it, right? So in most of these conferences, I wouldn't understand 80% of the things they were saying. And when you don't understand something, you naturally tend to not like it. So I made a mistake in picking the right kind of conferences, and therefore I didn't like going to conferences, and therefore I didn't go to many conferences. But if you go to a medical student conference or like a junior doctor conference or something like that that's relevant to your level of training, you have so much fun, you learn so many cool stuff, and you meet all these cool people from other medical schools, from other cities, other states, other countries. And building a network of all these people from different places is always a great idea. So make an effort to attend conferences and CMEs. These are places where you get a glance into the future of medicine, all the exciting new things coming up, gene therapy, surgical robots, monoclonal antibodies, 3D printed body parts, artificial intelligence in medicine, interesting cases, interesting papers. There are so many interesting things being discussed in these conferences. And most of our syllabus is kind of very basic and boring. All of these things that have been practiced for a very long time. There's nothing very exciting in it. But when you see all of these cool stuff happening, it might kindle a love for medicine and future of medicine, because that's where you'll be practicing as a doctor. So those were the mistakes that I made in med school, and hopefully you learned a few things from this video and you won't make the same mistakes as I did. But it's okay to make mistakes as long as you're learning from them. That being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.